Hello guys, welcome to the sixth session of the Entity Framework Code 2.0 tutorials. In this section, we will perform the CRUD operation using the Entity Framework Core. In this session, I am going to perform the create operation for adding the data into the database. Let's switch to the Visual Studio. I am going to create a new action for that within the our controller. Named create author. I'm not going to use the advanced ASP.NET MVC concept. I'm going to focus on the entity framework concept. So I will pass the values to the parameter by using the query string and validate those values simply and add into the database by using the entity framework code to and return all the messages in the form of the string for the success and the failures. This action will take the instance of the author as a parameter, author A. First of all, create the try catch block. If the exception occurs, then we need to return the x.message. In the try block, we need to perform the validation. In this case, I am just going to check all the properties of that instance are exist or not. For that, write the if a.name not equal to null and a.mail id not equal to null. Then use the context dot add and pass the our instance, that is A, and call the save changes method of the context and return success message, book details added successfully. Else we need to return missing some properties. This is the action to create the author. Similarly, I am going to create action for creating the book too. Then we will check the both of them. Public string create book, which will take the book B as a parameter. Create a try catch block. Within the catch block, return the x.message, and within a try block we need to check for b.title not equal to null and b.price not equal to 0 and b.description not equal to null and b.author id not equal to 0. Then use the context.book.add method and pass the our book B instance and call the context.savechanges method and return book details added successfully. Else we need to return missing some properties. Oops, here I am write the book details added instead of the author details. If you have observed the both of the method, In the author, I am write the context.add method and the simply pass the instance, where in the case of the book, I am write the context.dbSetName, that is the book, and pass the instance in the add method. We can add the data in both of way. We can simply add the data into the our context, or we can also add the data into the dbSet of that context. And in the author method, I am use the async method, where in the case of the book, I am use the only save changes. This async method will perform the operation asynchronously, where the save changes method will perform the operation synchronously. These async methods are usually preferable in the case of the desktop application. We are working with the ASP.NET web application, so I am going to use the save changes method. Save the file and run the project. Open the our controller, that is create author. You can see that it display the missing properties. Let's add the name equal to Nilay and mail ID equal to mail@nilay.com. You can see that it returned the author details added successfully. Let's switch to the management studio and execute that select queries. Here is the data that we are added. You can see that the book table contains 0 entry till now. Call the create book method. Display the missing some property. And now let's pass the some data. And here is the success message. Execute the select query. Here we got the book data that we are added now. Let's see what we are learning in this session. First, we have created the method for the author, in which we are added the instance directory to the context and call the save changes async method of the context, which will save those changes to the database. Note that the when we are calling the add method, it will not immediately add the data into the database. It will only save when we are calling the save changes or save changes async method. If you forget to call those methods, then your action will be nothing. It does not perform the any insert or update operation on your database. Async method will perform the operation asynchronously, which is preferable to the desktop application, not in the web application. So I am only use the save changes because we are using the ASP.NET application throughout this series. Then we have created the create book action, which will take the book B as a parameter, and we are added this book into the dbSet instead of the context. Entity framework is smart enough to identify the book type and add into the appropriate dbSet, but here we are specify that the we need to add that data into the book dbSet. And we are call the save changes to perform the operation on the database. Those are the URLs for our action that we are created. If you have any doubt, feel free to contact me. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.